Hi and welcome to Orbit. I review roughly 20 smartphones every year and I'm doing that for years now. So if there is a new smartphone, I already start to make up my mind. I look at the spec sheet and I think, well, this could be good, this could be bad. But the Moto Edge 50 Pro completely turned that around. This smartphone is seriously strange. All the things that I expected to be bad are actually very good. And all of the things where I thought they were quite good, they have some problems with them. So yeah, this thing is the ultimate underdog and I think many people will love it. When I unboxed the Moto Edge 50 Pro, I first had to come to terms with the design. The back looks like shattered marble or some type of a pearl. It's quite unique. Not exactly my taste, but my girlfriend and her friends, they just loved it. It fits pretty well with jewelry. It's actually handmade in Italy from the same company that makes sunglasses for Gucci and Prada. There's also a black and a purple fox leather back. When you open the box, you can smell a perfume. Yes, Motorola adds scent to their smartphones. And drum roll please, there is a power supply in the box. And it's not just any power supply, but more on that in a moment. The next thing I noticed is that the Moto Edge 50 Pro is really thin. At a time where the competition is getting fatter and fatter, that's one thing I like to see. It just feels better. I also like the fact that the real panel merges discreetly into the camera element, almost like a fabric stretched over the back. It feels pleasant and it doesn't get as dirty as others. The device is lighter than average and water resistant for 30 minutes at a depth of 1.5 meters. The display is the usual 6.7 inch like most modern smartphone these days. It has a resolution between Full HD and Quad HD. Motorola calls it Super HD+. It's a good compromise between sharpness and efficiency, similar to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and just like there, the peak brightness is 2000 nits. The display looks very good. It's calibrated by Pantone and has fairly thin bezels and a nice curvature on the sides. My favorite thing is that it's not 90 or 120 Hz, but actually 144 Hz. It's subtle, but I think it's pretty cool that this smartphone is even smoother than the competition. And the performance is also great. This device is fast, fluid and keeps apps open for a long time thanks to 12 GB of RAM. If I didn't know any better, I would think in here is the latest Snapdragon processor. And yep, there is a modern Snapdragon processor on the inside, but it's not the 8th Gen 3, it's the 7th Gen 3. And that's almost half the CPU performance and a third of the GPU performance. So it's way slower and I was kind of afraid by it, but actually the performance is very good, except inside of the camera. Motorola now has a much more extensive image processing pipeline, which is why the viewfinder starts to jerk and stutter after taking a picture. And graphically intensive games don't run at maximum settings. This will bother hardcore gamers and nerds, but I think Motorola is acting in the interest of the vast majority by not installing the highest end processor, but giving you 512 GB of storage as a standard. In addition, the processor is very efficient, so battery life is actually very good. This thing won't die on you. I came back from work at home with 3.5 hours of screen on time and still had 60% of battery left. That's almost a 2-day phone. I can totally imagine myself using it from 7 to 8 hours a day and still have some battery left. The best value I got was 6 hours and 19 minutes and I still had 42% of battery left. I never was able to empty this phone. And it is fast charging too. So if you are emptying it, in 8 minutes it will charge from 0 to 50% and in 18 minutes it will charge completely. That's the fastest charging phone you can buy in Europe right now. And wireless charging has 50 watts, so you need a special cooled charger for it to work, but then it is even faster charging wireless than an iPhone, Pixel or Galaxy with a cable. And reverse wireless charging is also very quick with 10 watts. I do want to say a few words about the software before I finally show you the camera. Motorola software is one of my absolute favorites. It is Android 14 and it's almost untouched, so comparable to a Google Pixel. But Motorola has made a few adjustments. Some are good, some are not so good. Good there is the gesture control, so you can shake it twice to activate the flashlight or you twist it twice to activate the camera. Bad, the weather app has many ads in it. Good, there is Ready For, which turns your smartphone into a mini PC on a monitor or into a set-top box on a TV. Bad, I don't like that the quick settings now have a blurry background. It looks very much like 2013 to me. Good, the software can be customized very easily to fit your individual look. You can even remove the app names, which I think is always nice. Bad, not really a software problem, but you feel it everywhere inside of the software. The vibration motor. It's not a modern one with an Z-axis that has a pleasant feel to it. It's one of those old things that vibrates like it's very loud and doesn't feel great. I don't get why Motorola was cheaping out on the vibration motor. And neutral, the software updates. There's 3 years of Android and 4 years of security updates. That's longer than most people use their phones nowadays, but more is always better. Nowadays, a smartphone stands and falls with its camera, and Motorola has been struggling so far. The photos have always been a bit pale and blurry. But now there is artificial intelligence, and that improves every picture after taking it. And there is some impressive hardware too. The main camera has a large 50 megapixel sensor and an f1.4 aperture, so it captures a lot of light and has a strong bokeh. I mean, look at that background, it's very blurry. The images are natural. There's not too much saturation or an HDR sky. The contrast is very pleasing. The sharpness looks high at first glance, but I think it's a little bit too artificial. In addition to the main camera, there's also a 30 megapixel ultra wide angle that can also take macro pictures. I think it keeps up surprisingly well with the main camera. The look is identical, but the sharpness is lower and there is more noise in poor light. Third camera is a 10 megapixel 3x zoom. It's similar to the Galaxy S24 and the pictures are too. I really do like this angle and therefore I've taken a lot of pictures with it. I think some of the pictures turned out very nice, although it struggles with poor light too, and I noticed that 10 megapixels are sometimes too less. But they look similar to the Galaxy S24 and that thing is more expensive. The selfie camera has 50 megapixels, a large 1.9 aperture and autofocus. The pictures are very good in my opinion. Great natural sharpness and skin tones. So did Motorola actually make a great camera for the first time? I think so. Well, look at these pictures and tell me what you think, but I think they look quite good, especially for that price range. And only the Pixel 8 is really better and also cheaper, but yeah, it's the Google Pixel, I guess. It will always be better. Conclusion. In a time where smartphones start at 900 euros and go up to 1,400, it's very refreshing to see a phone that's 699 with 512 gigabytes of storage, an awesome battery life and very fast charging. With the brick included, it has a great screen, it has a solid performance and a solid camera. I think this thing is very compelling and there's only small criticism with it. The vibration motor and the updates, they could be improved, but other than that, I think this is a very good phone. It's a completely underdog. Yeah, and I think people that will actually buy it will very like it.